Hello and welcome to the Padawan Podcast, Apocalypse Movies All Star Wars podcast, where we try to break down everything from the galaxy far, far away, not just film, but TV, comics, books, and anything else canon or non-canon. Welcome back to the Padawan. I am your host, Jake Berlin, aka Qui-Gon Jake, and I am joined again by Brian Avellino, the no-named assassin in the Star Wars world so far.
It's got to be a bad guy, though.
Yeah, we have yet to find you a name. And if you guys have something out there, if you're listening, and his name is Brian Avellino, if there is a name that matches with that, or you think of something, shoot us in the comments, because we, to be quite honest, we're blanking.
Yeah, preferably a bad guy.
Yeah, we have a couple in mind, but nothing that really sticks so far. So go ahead and shoot down there and let us know in the comments. We are here to do our final top 10 ranking of the all-time Star Wars lightsaber duels in the galaxy. Now, we've previously done two podcasts that were chronicling the 28th through 21 fights. Then we did the 20th through the 11th fights, and now we are officially on our top 10. They've kind of been mix and match as far as the same so far. We've had a few that have been very similar, a few that have kind of been up and down. But I feel like it's about to get pretty heated here on the Padawan.
All hell is about to break loose.
We're going to have some different rankings here, and there may be some heated discussions going on as far as where they rank and why they rank. So let's kick this right off right now, and I'm going to start this one off with number 10. I think Brian had actually mentioned this one already, but I have Obi-Wan and Adi Gallia, I believe it is, versus Maul and Savage Opress from the Clone Wars. We had talked about this one on the last Padawan, but I personally really enjoy this one because it's kind of the first time that we saw Obi-Wan get really angry. He was really upset at the fact that one of his close Jedi friends, one of the Jedi Masters on the Council, was just slaughtered by Maul and Savage. Like, she was pretty much she was headbutted to sleep almost in a way. And so, and Obi-Wan he was furious. He was pissed off. We saw real emotions in him for the really first time, in my opinion. Yes, what followed was kind of a chase thing where they were running after each other, a little bit of lightsaber contact here, a little bit there. And it's the first time we're really experiencing Maul being Maul again in the Clone Wars. But it's impactful because of Obi-Wan's reaction and how he kind of handles it, because to this point in Star Wars, we know him as this kind of clear-minded, center gravity guy who, does the right thing in all these occasions, but he kind of almost loses it in a way. And so, it ranks in at number 10 for me.
All right. My number 10, the very classic, very original Obi-Wan versus Vader.
At 10?
Bro, there are so many freaking good ones. It's short. It is not so much a fight as it is blocking, but it still deserves to be in the top 10.
Bro, you got Alec Guinness and an older dude who's like 8 feet tall who's supposed to be animatronic in 1977.
There's one that you're going to get that is...
Yeah, I'm gonna lose my mind over here right now. I'm gonna lose my mind.
There's one specific one that I feel like you're gonna flip out that is higher than this one.
Oh man.
But it deserves to be in the top 10.
It does. 100%.
It cannot. It's 100%. The first time we see two lightsabers go out.
100%.
So it had to be in my top 10.
I hear you.
So that's...
All right, so number 9 for me, this is one that you had brought up in your last ranking. I have Sidious versus Maul and Savage.
Okay.
Now, dude, this fight is everything. Now, these are 3 Sith users, or Dark Force users, I should say. Each of them have been Sith. One of them is still a Sith, obviously Insidious. But just as I have mentioned with other characters, toying with other characters, Sidious is 100% toying with these dudes. Not to mention... Sidious has 2 lightsabers.
Yeah.
He has 2, and it's the only time we've ever seen that happen in any Star Wars thing ever. He has 2 sabers. He pulls out a second one, because Episode 3, we saw him, he only had the one. What I love about this fight so much is that Sidious basically makes Maul a little crying bitch at the end of it. He is such a softie by the end of this fight. Sidious is completely toying with him and just shoving him into the ground. He's just making him cry and blubber like a little baby, and it's absolutely amazing. And so it definitely deserves my 9 ranking.
All right. I literally just changed my 8 and 9 right now.
Wait, did you move something down or move something up?
I switched 8 and 9.
Okay.
So I literally just switched these two right now. Because I was sitting here like... Okay. My number 9. Keeping with the originals. Luke vs. Vader in Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I'm looking at my number 8 too, and I'm like, should I have...
Are you still confident in it?
Yeah, no, okay. I've made it very clear that I am not a fan too much of Return of the Jedi. But this is the conclusion of the original trilogy.
Very much.
Every time I think of this scene, the very first thing that pops into my mind, other than Palpatine's ugly face just staring and laughing, is Luke just smashing Darth Vader up against that rail.
Yep.
With the lightsaber, just bam, bam, bam. That's literally, and then hearing Darth Vader get his arm cut off and just going, oh. But that's what I see it. I think the reason I switched it is because there is a point where they're just hiding, or excuse me, Luke's just hiding.
They're playing cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's dope when he jumps out of the shadows with the green lightsaber.
It's a very, very powerful scene.
It is. It's, again, one that deserves to be in the top 10. But it's on my lower end.
Well, number 8 for me is Luke vs. Vader from Return of the Jedi.
Number 9?
No, number 8.
Oh, that's
number
right.
8. Yeah,
that's
I went
right,
first. Number 8. Yeah, I mean, I understand where everyone comes from if they rank it lower. I understand people that rank it higher. This, for me, it's so powerful because exactly what Brian mentioned, it's pretty much that final moment of Luke and Vader going at it, and Luke kind of getting the upper hand on him. But it's not just that, it's the fact that it's father and son. They know now that they're father and son, and Luke he loses it for a second. And he's going after his dad. He's, throwing this lightsaber in his face and crushing him into the ground. He cuts his arm, or not his arm, his hand off. And then you kind of get that moment of clarity where he sees that his father has the same missing hand that he does, and kind of sees what he has become in a way. And he's like coming back to reality. And so this fight, there's definitely some slow moments, obviously, but I think the overall meaning of it and the overall impact of it is very, very strong in the world of Star Wars. And out of all of the lightsaber fights we have at this moment in time in the original trilogy, other than, well, I guess the fight in The Empire Strikes Back wasn't really that violent. This is the most violent fight we've had. Yeah. It's the most just kind of gritty and grounded and kind of just going after each other. Obviously the whole "I know I am your father" type thing is pretty rough, but this is a pretty violent fight in the original trilogy, and so it definitely has a bit of impact.
My number 8, Luke vs. Vader and The Empire Strikes Back.
What? Dude. Alright, we're done. We're done.
I told you this is going to be...
and this was originally your 9?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? God.
Bro, this is why it took me so long to figure out this list, because it's so changed. It honestly, top 10 changes by your mood, in my opinion.
Not this fight. This fight should not be ranked past 5.
Well, we know where yours is
now.
No,
you don't actually. I just threw a number out there.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
God, 8? 8? Yo,
I almost don't even want.
You have both Luke Vader fights back to back, and they're not even in your top 5.
No.
Wow. God, I am.
You're gonna be heated by my top 5,
dude.
Absolutely
I'm losing it. Losing it.
I knew you would.
Oh my God.
And you're just gonna. Folks, if we make it through,
I'm probably gonna walk out.
10 with Jake.
It's probably gonna be just Brian by the end of the show. Feel free to give him a shitty Star Wars name. God.
But yeah. I mean, you pretty much. Yeah. I don't even want to justify it now, just because.
I'm in shock, man.
So
I was cool with Return of the Jedi, but Empire Strikes Back, bro. Like, what is it about it that you don't like?
It's in my top 10. It's nothing I don't like.
There's got to be something you don't like about it.
The other ones were better.
Interesting.
I mean, you have the iconic, the line of all lines and
spoiler.
I mean, it's good. It's awesome. I mean, it's a very famous scene. If you watch it, there's not that much fighting.
Doesn't matter, Brian.
Okay. Well, either way, I think I'm not getting much more out. So let's move to your number 7.
Number 7 is one that we have talked about beforehand. It is Ahsoka and Kanan versus Maul from Rebel Season 2.
Okay.
This can be considered Kanan versus Maul. It's kind of back and forth. It starts off with Ahsoka and Kanan, finishes with Kanan and Maul. But this fight is significant for a couple reasons. One, Kanan goes blind. He loses his eyesight, and he doesn't ever get it back until the very end, obviously. Spoiler. But, yeah, you see... So this episode, there was a lot of stuff going on this episode, and Maul was kind of fighting alongside with them because Vader was coming. There's all type of stuff happening. They kind of needed each other to get through things. But then there's a turn, and you see these 3 powerful Force users just kind of going at it, and they use them very wisely. They use their powers very wisely, but I love the moment where Kanan kind of self-centers himself again after going blind and is able to channel his true Force abilities and ultimately, not defeat Maul, but push him down a cliff to where he doesn't have to fight him anymore. And so, for me, I think that is well-deserving of a top 10 spot and even as high as number 7.
I'm so scared to get
God, dude, I'm losing it.
Okay. My number 7 is Kanan and Ezra versus the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay.
I loved the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, he was a great guy. He was a great villain, I should say.
He should have made it into more of the shows.
Well...
No, you don't think so?
Well, so it depends on how you view it, because if he stayed around, Season 2 wouldn't have been the Mole thing.
True.
And so they would have
went on 2 seasons.
He was more like one.
If Maul was taken out.
He was more like 1.5.
Okay.
But we would have gotten the Season 2 that we did if the Grand Inquisitor was still around.
Okay. His freaking lightsaber.
Yeah. I remember the very first trailer came out for Rebels at Comic-Con, and that saber popped up. I lost my crap.
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. The reason it's probably in here is mostly because of him, because he's just so freaking dope in general. But, yeah, I mean, you already spoke of this scene. You had it a lot lower. But, and it's like one of our first tastes of Kanan, Ezra, Padawan, Master.
Very much.
So it's kind of got a little nostalgia.
It does. And Jason Isaacs, who plays the Grand Inquisitor, voices him really, really well. All right, well, moving on. So number 6 for me is the most recent lightsaber fight in the world of Star Wars. I have Rey versus Kylo Ren. What? You have this like number 1 probably. I wouldn't be surprised if you do. Rey versus Kylo Ren. Yeah, this scene is freaking. I remember sitting down and watching this scene for the very first time in theaters, as does probably everyone. And that moment where that lightsaber flies past Kylo and goes into Rey's hand, I was screaming like a little girl at a Barbie shop, just excited as all hell to see what was about to happen. Now, the first half of the scene is very, unchoreographed. They're kind of swinging their or Rey is so much. No. So I'm talking about when Rey gets the saber.
Okay.
So
are you counting Finn?
I'm not counting Finn.
Okay, because I counted.
No, I'm not counting Finn at all. Not at all.
Hater.
And he got his butt kicked. So Rey is trying to just swinging it in defense, trying to do what she can. She's very much learning this.
Stabbing.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's true. There is much stabbing there, but. It's very much a kind of scared, defenseless swing because this is the first time she's ever done this. But then Kylo Ren pretty much flips the switch and turns her on by saying, the Force. I can teach you the Force. She channels that energy as Maz Kanata told her, and all hell breaks loose. And I love how it ends with her kind of getting a little bit more angry than we see from a normal Jedi, slicing Kylo Ren's face up. It's so exciting. It's so invigorating. You get goosebumps every time you watch it. It's so intense between these two young characters who are on completely different paths. It's great, and I think that it was done really well by both Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley. The way they filmed it, the way certain things went down, it's fantastic. And yes, there was no lead-up fight or follow-up fight in The Last Jedi, but Episode 9 is about to be effing crazy because these two are going to have an epic battle.
That better be like a 2-minute.
At least. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, my number 6 is actually the exact same one.
Nice.
Except you're a hater. I count Finn because that went on for a little bit. It was like a solid 30, 45 seconds.
Well, and that was the trailer shot too. Everyone lost their mind. Oh my god, he's a Jedi. When he
I knew.
He was never a Jedi.
Yeah, no, it was pretty obvious that he wasn't going to be the Jedi of the movie. But I love everything about this fight, from where they're fighting, the scenery.
Scenery's amazing.
Of the whole snow in the forest, and then when the ground splits apart, and how the way it's shot,
J.J. Abrams, man.
Yeah, the cinematography of it put this up there. That not even the fight, the way it was shot through the woods.
Well, it was the first ever time we saw this kind of snow atmosphere with lightsabers.
Yeah, that's
Hoth,
true.
There wasn't really anything on Hoth. This is it was true artistry, if you will, just because of everything kind of going on around them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much already said everything I was thinking, but I mean, it's such a dope scene.
It is. It's
so
awesome.
good.
And it's the follow-up fight, because these two obviously in The Last Jedi had a little bit of a connection, but when we do get that eventual fight, it's going to be nuts.
It's going down.
It's going to be insane. And the fact that Abrams he's doing both of them.
Yeah.
He did this one, and he's also going to do the Episode 9 fight. So
yeah.
It's inevitable, obviously.
All right. All hell's about to break loose.
It is. So number 5 for me, I have the first ever lightsaber fight in the world of Star Wars that we've ever witnessed. Obi-Wan versus Vader from Episode 4.
Okay.
Originally titled Star Wars. This fight, yes, it's short. It's pretty much Obi-Wan turning into a laundry basket. I get it. But it is the first ever saber fight we've ever seen. The idea behind
basket.
I mean, he kind of does, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The idea behind this concept was put to the side by everyone except George Lucas, and to see it come to fruition with these two characters who have a long history that we did not know about at this time was fantastic. How we got Vader and Anakin in the prequels, how we got it in the Clone Wars, makes this fight better, because we now know what they're talking about, I am now the master, not the Padawan, or whatever he says in that fight. But
I once was the master.
I once was the master, but now I am the Padawan.
I once was the Padawan.
Now I am the master. Yeah. So, yes, it's short. It's kind of just a bunch of older guys kind of clinking swords together, and it's not, super athletic or whatever it may be, but it's nostalgic. It's the first ever one that we were experienced with this world, and so I definitely believe that it deserves a top 5. On a side note, there was a group of YouTubers that actually recreated the scene, doing full athletic flips and turns and stuff, and it's a pretty badass shot. So go find that on YouTube.
Okay. You're gonna lose your stuff on this one. I've been waiting for this one with anticipation that you're gonna be pissed.
This is number 5?
Yeah. Well, actually 5 and 4. Number 5, I have Yoda versus Palpatine.
From Episode 3?
No. Yes.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
I loved that scene.
Oh my god.
Loved that one. Because Palpatine is full... That's the strongest Palpatine has been, he's able to move fight, do all of this stuff. There's some when he's throwing the.
That's not lightsaber fights though.
It's a whole entire thing. It's.
I had it ranked 21st.
I know. I'm aware.
Look, the dialogue is great. The stuff between them, because it's Yoda, the top Jedi, versus the top Sith, the one that they've been hunting for years.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no lightsaber stuff going on.
You're crazy. There's
no lightsaber stuff going on.
No, I love it. I love it. This was the lightsaber fight from Yoda that I wanted compared to
what?
Episode 2.
Are you serious?
It's ranked higher than Episode 2's.
There's not really any lightsaber stuff going on.
You're just a hater.
Oh my god.
It's the fact that Yoda is going against Palpatine.
I get that, but
it is just mind-blowing. All right, go before you...
I need a beer.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Go before you end up exploding.
Number 4, I have Luke and Vader in The Empire Strikes Back. Luke versus Vader in Empire Strikes Back, excuse me. This fight is so much. It's incredible. Obviously ends with the whole, "No, I am your father." One of the greatest pieces of dialogue you will ever see in a film. I love the opening scene, personally, when they're in the carbonite chamber on Cloud City.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Vader is pretty much toying with them. He kind of experiences Luke's powers for the first time. And there's that iconic shot of them standing on atop the stairs and Vader turning his saber on. They're kind of just looking at each other. That I can get a painting of that and have it on my wall forever because it's such a fantastic shot. It's like one of the most perfect filmed shots ever. But and yes, I get it. Like, Vader's toying with him as far as throwing objects at him and whatnot. But there's also a meaning behind that because he's showing Luke that he has so much more to learn, and it's not about killing him or beating him. It's about showing Luke, look, I can teach you what you need to know, because at that point in time, he was trying to turn him to become evil. So, it's just, from the beginning of that, what makes this fight is the beginning in the carbonite chamber, but also that final moment of him, I am your father, of him taking his hand off, Vader and Luke kind of going at it for a quick second, and then, chopping the hand off. There's so many things I like about it. I can understand why people wouldn't like it, but I just think that it's, as far as the original trilogy goes, it's the top dog, and so I lose my mind when it's not ranked where it should be.
Okay, clearly. This is the one you're gonna explode. My number 4 is Mace Windu and Jedi vs. Palpatine.
Are you serious?
I swear.
Oh my god!
Mace Windu beats the living crap out of Palpatine.
Dude, okay. 3 Jedi Masters get taken down in like half a second.
Whatever. I don't even care about that part.
Oh my god.
I care about the fact that Mace Windu whooped that ass, excuse my French, on Palpatine, and it's the purple lightsaber, and if it wasn't for whiny Anakin, Palpatine would have been snuffed out by, what is that, Episode 3? Yeah. If you guys could see the disappointment in Jake's face.
Dude, Windu...
Where's this? Is he lower than your 21?
Yeah, he's like, he is, this is my last fight. This is 28th.
This is your last place fight?
This is my last place fight. This is the worst fight Star Wars has ever created. This is awful.
And it's in my top 5.
This fight is awful.
Okay, let me ask you this.
On so many reasons. Not to mention that the all-time greatest meme of roar and him flipping with the saber out of the chair. Like, come on.
That part was badass.
No! Dude!
Okay, let me ask you this part, though. If Palpatine wouldn't have taken out those 3 in the beginning, and he would have just roared straight at Mace Windu, would it have been better? I think you hate it because he took out the other.
I also hate the ending of it, though. Because Windu just basically... Windu, he could have easily taken in Palpatine or easily killed him, but he kind of just like... It's not that he was stalling, because why would he ever stall, but it just took too much time. Like, something could have easily happened before Anakin got there. Like, easily. I just don't get it, man.
You're so mad.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
The disappointment.
God, man. Oh, my God.
All right, well, Jake's still here, so since he is, let's go to number 3.
Yeah, number 3 for me, I had a really... I'm going to be quite honest with this one. I had a really, really hard time with these 3.
I think you and I are going to have the same number 3.
Well, we'll see. I think we had the same top 3, just different orders, maybe.
Do you want me to tell you if we...
No. I have a hard time saying this is number 3 because I absolutely adore this moment in Star Wars history.
I think we have the same one.
Ahsoka vs. Vader. Rebels Season 2, the finale. This fight, I could literally watch a GIF of this over and over and over again. Like, this fight, that moment where Ahsoka, it's a panning shot of them zooming into Ahsoka and she's charging at Vader. Oh my God, this thing is amazing. And then we get a little bit of Anakin or even Vader toying with Ahsoka. The mask is ripped off. You see his eyes. And you kind of get Ahsoka being drawn back to Anakin a little bit. And just, it's everything. This fight is everything. It is the greatest animated fight we've ever seen. It's by far one of the best lightsaber fights we've ever experienced. The emotional tug between these two characters because of the history we've seen through the Clone Wars and everything else, it is absolutely amazing, and I cannot be happier that it happened. I have a hard time putting it number 3, but it definitely deserves a top 3 spot.
Yep, and I was
That's
right.
Your number 3?
We have the exact same number 3. Everything you said is exactly what I would say.
It's everything. Man.
It's anything you could ever want from one of the, I almost said comic books, one of the television type shows. The only thing that could have made this better somehow, this was in real.
Yeah, oh my God, I would have lost my flipping crap if it was live action.
I think this and the ending of Rebels, I think I would be hard pressed to find times you've freaked out bigger than those two. But yeah, same thing, same as number 3. Then what's left to say after what you said?
Yeah, I could talk about this fight all day long. Like I could literally do like an hour video just breaking it down.
Yeah.
But imagine seeing Hayden Christensen back in the suit for that with the eye.
Oh,
dude,
it would be insane.
Dude,
it would be
lose
insane.
my mind. All right,
it all comes down to who plays Ahsoka though.
Yeah, I have my hopes and wishes. I don't know if we'll ever see her on live action, but I do have some people in mind that could play her absolutely fantastically. But that's for another day. All right, number 2. I quite honestly believe that these might be switched for us. But number 2, I have Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan vs. Maul. I have the Duel of Fates, the legendary fight from Episode 1. Quite possibly can be argued the greatest Star Wars fight that has ever been created. But put simply, this is number 2 for me because I a hell of a lot more love number 1. This fight is fantastic. We see Maul in just full embodiment with the dual saber. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan just going at it, and then it obviously ends with the tragic death of Qui-Gon. And so you get the music, which is our music here to begin with. Every time this song comes on, I like get in a mode and I just like jam out and whatnot. But this fight is fantastic. It's choreographed fantastic. Ray Park does such a great job with Maul. Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson. The back and forth between the two Jedi and the one Sith is just awesome. And so, and like I said, this could easily be number 1. But it simply comes down to it. I just absolutely adore my number 1.
Okay. My number 2 is Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
Nice.
So you and I are opposite ends.
Yep.
This Okay, for me personally, I want to make this very clear. For me personally, my problem with putting this at number 1 or at number 2 was the fact that number 1 for me, which obvious, should I just say it? I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Was my number 1 is
Duel Fates.
Duel Fates. The reason Duel Fates is my number 1 is because I grew up on that fight scene. Yeah. I remember me and my friends in the front yard with the same exact lightsabers, acting out that scene. I remember as a kid trying to like choreograph that scene. Like it's my number 1 because it's nostalgic.
Well, it honestly transcended pop culture.
Yes.
That scene.
That's the only reason why my number 2 is not number 1.
I hear you.
Had it not meant so much childhood memory, they could have easily been switched. Just because, I mean, it's freaking Obi-Wan versus Anakin turning into Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think I would say, like, I'm going to shoot high and say 90% of Star Wars fans are going to have these two
100%
in the top 2. It's just going to be a matter of which one has had a bigger impact on them. And for me, since Duel Fates was, I want to say, like, right in the prime of my, like,
99
kid phase,
it was 99.
That's why that one's there for me. If Obi-Wan and Anakin was in the same, if it was flipped, I guarantee you it would have been the opposite. But, I mean, that fight scene, Duel Fates,
it's great.
Yeah.
But it's not better than Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead.
This fight, man, it's the prime of Star Wars lightsaber duels for multiple reasons. Look, it's well known that people don't like Hayden Christensen in the role of Anakin. Think he was too wooden, think he didn't do it too well. But when you give him this role in this specific scene and moment,
he was meant to be bad.
He crushed it.
He was meant to be a bad
absolutely character. Crushed it. Opposite Ewan McGregor, who is arguably one of my favorite actors.
Oh.
The two of them.
Is he your favorite Star Wars actor? He's mine. That's why I asked.
I don't know. That may be something we have to do.
Okay.
But the two of them, and this is solely based on because of their relationship in the two previous films, like the relationship that was built leading up to this moment, the fact that it's Master and Padawan just absolutely trying to crush each other. If you put this scene on and it's on mute, I can quote every single word. I swear to you.
I wouldn't be surprised if you could act it out.
I could quote every single word to the scene from the moment Obi-Wan or not even the moment that Padme steps down that ramp to meet Anakin until the moment Obi-Wan walks away on the sands of Mustafar.
The part that when he starts choking Padme, it kills.
I can quote that entire sequence, and so it just, if you turn it on, I will sit there and I will gaze upon the greatness that it is.
Good to know.
For minutes that it's everything that a lightsaber fight should be, because one,
and it's long.
It's very long, which is the best part about it. Now, it got a little crazy with the whole climbing on these things or whatever, but I understand because they're trying to make it a little bit nuts and a little bit more over the top than it should be. But the emotional impact it had, because it's pretty much brothers fighting each other. Like Obi-Wan literally says that you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you, blah blah blah. Like,
I love the high ground scene.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't try it, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Like, see, I can go at it all day. But these two brothers going after each other is just fantastic. Then you throw in the amount of chemistry that these two actors have together is even better.
Well, then you throw in the
yeah, exactly. And then you throw in the choreography that was created for it, and then the scenery behind them with the lava and the world, and then you have the Padme aspect, the fact that she's dying, and like there are so many things to love about this scene. It's the greatest fight in Star Wars to me. I think that will it be topped one day? Possibly, but I think something has a very, very long way to do it. There's always that chance, but some if it does, it has a long way to go to beat it because there are so many things to love and enjoy about this scene. So before we get out of here, Brian, I think let's run through our top 10 one last time as we finish our all-time Star Wars lightsaber duel ranking.
All right, my top 10. I'm saying it fast so that way you don't smack me. Number 10, Obi-Wan vs. Vader. Number 9, Luke vs. Vader, Return of the Jedi. Number 8, Luke vs. Vader.
No!
Empire Strikes Back. Number 7, Kanan and Ezra vs. Grand Inquisitor. Number 6, Rey and Finn. I'm counting Finn. Rey and Finn versus Kylo Ren. Number 5, Yoda vs. Palpatine. Number 4, Windu.
Holy Lord!
And the 3 shitty Jedi versus Palpatine.
Oh my God.
Number 3, Ahsoka versus Vader. Number 2, Obi-Wan versus Anakin. And number 1, for me, the Duel of Fate. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul.
Man, I'm still not over the fact that you have Mace Windu and the Jedi.
I'm about to get up and run out of this room.
All right, so number 10 for me, I have Obi-Wan versus Maul and Savage Opress. Number 9, Sidious versus Maul and Savage Opress. Number 8, Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi. 7, Ahsoka and Kanan versus Maul. 6, Rey versus Kylo Ren. 5, Obi-Wan versus Vader. 4, Luke versus Vader from The Empire Strikes Back. 3, Ahsoka versus Vader from Star Wars Rebels. 2, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Maul. And number 1, Anakin and Obi-Wan in Episode 3.
I probably shouldn't have waited this long to think of a nickname now that I have.
I know, right?
People are going to be giving me some.
It's going to be some crappy names, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So, yeah, that is our final ranking of all of the Star Wars lightsaber fights in the galaxy of Star Wars. Now, it is ever-changing, of course, and Star Wars movies are coming out left and right now, so it could possibly switch here and there every once in a while. But for now, that is what our ranking is, and so watch the last 3 Padawans to do that. Maybe we'll put it up on the site here pretty soon as well. That way there's a written form for you guys, and maybe we'll even do a consensus list here at Apocalypse. So we can't thank you guys enough for listening to our ranking of the Star Wars lightsaber duels. Check us out on iTunes, check us out on apocalypsemovies.com, this YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a share, a like, and of course comment down below about our rankings and your rankings as well. Let us know what you think. Are we wrong? Are we not wrong? Did we miss anything? Let us know what your rankings are as well so we can kind of have a good conversation about that. Can't thank you guys enough for joining me and Brian for this journey down the Star Wars lightsaber duels.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get some kind of new rankings here going forward.
No, I'm
as
too
well
scared to do any more rankings with you.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. And then we also have Solo in just a few weeks, and we're going to try and do a preview episode on the Padawan probably next week or the week after. So look out for that.
Kira.
Yeah, Solo Star Wars story. Who would have known we would be this excited for it? So,
not me.
Yeah, thank you again for listening to us, and until next time, may the Force be with you.